Commodore, my 64, my Commodore 64.
It's World War I and you are flying ace Max Chatworth, better known as Blue Max. Your mission is as dangerous as they come. Destroy 3 key targets deep within enemy territory after braving a gauntlet of anti-aircraft fire across the heavily defended countryside. It's just you, your trusty Sopwith Camel, and the hope that skill and nerve will see you through. This is the backdrop for one of the earliest and most iconic games on the Commodore 64, Blue Max. With its blend of fast-paced arcade action, smooth scrolling levels, and superb sound effects, it set an early benchmark for shooters on the 64. So strap into your biplane, adjust your goggles, and keep that lucky charm close, because we're about to take flight into a true classic. Blue Max was originally designed by Bob Polin and released by Synapse Software for Atari 8-bit computers in 1983. Later that same year, it was ported to the Commodore 64 by programmer Peter Adams, and in 1984 it made its way to the UK, published there by US Gold. Synapse was an American software company founded in 1981 by Ihor Wolosenko and Ken Grant. They began by creating games and productivity software for Atari 8-bit systems, later branching out to the VIC-20 and Commodore 64. Early hits like Protector and Seamus put them on the map, and in addition to Blue Max, they delivered memorable titles like Pharaoh's Curse and Rainbow Walker. But their success didn't last. In 1984, Synapse invested heavily in a new line of productivity apps for Atari computers, just as Atari's struggling consumer division was sold. The new owners refused to pay for 40,000 units already shipped, triggering a cash crisis. Broderbund bought the company later that year, but by 1985, Synapse was gone. As for the people behind Blue Max, after bringing the game to the 64, programmer Peter Adams went on to a long career in the industry, working on titles including Beachhead 2, Dragon's Revenge, the Hot Wheels Stunt Track Driver series, and X-Men, among many others. Bob Polin created the sequel Blue Max 2001 in 1984 before leaving the game world shortly afterward. Blue Max is a scrolling shooter often compared to Zaxxon thanks to its angled pseudo 3D view. But in the humble opinion of the 64 Appreciation Society, Blue Max soars higher, offering more depth, more variety, and frankly, a better game. The mission begins on the runway with full fuel tanks and 30 bombs on board. You'll need to reach a minimum speed lifting off. Try too soon and you'll end the mission before it begins, earning the humiliating rank of Kamikaze Trainee. Once airborne, the real challenge starts. Enemy aircraft swoop in, flak bursts fill the sky, and ground targets line the countryside. Buildings, tanks, bridges, boats, and trucks, all just begging for a well-placed bomb. And as if that wasn't enough, you'll also be wrestling with damage to your airplane and gusts of wind. Controls are straightforward. You can move in all 4 directions, plus adjust your altitude up and down. Altitude matters. You need to match the height of enemy fighters to take them down, and the timing for dropping bombs changes depending on how high you fly. Flying low lets you strafe ground targets for easy points, but also makes you more vulnerable to crashing. The map is divided into 3 main sections. First, a wide river winding through forested terrain. Second, an inland region dotted with roads, enemy air bases, and plenty of tanks. And last, the city, but more on that in a moment. Damage is tracked in your control panel by 4 letters: M for maneuverability, G for guns, B for bombs, and F for fuel. Each hit makes the mission tougher. Maybe your guns jam, your fuel burns faster, or your handling turns sluggish. Take too much damage, run out of fuel, collide with another aircraft, or crash into the ground, and it's all over. To keep going, you'll need to land. Airstrips appear in set locations, acting like checkpoints. Land successfully and your fuel, bombs, and health are restored. But the more repairs you need, the longer you're grounded. And grounded doesn't mean safe. While you're sitting still, enemy bombers pass overhead, and if one connects, you're done. These moments, waiting on the tarmac as the bombs fall, are some of the tensest in the game. Not every enemy matters equally. Some targets flash when they appear. These are special objectives. You need to hit enough of them to unlock the final area. Miss too many and the game loops you endlessly through the first two zones until you've proven yourself. But then, once you've hit enough special targets, the city awaits. A canyon of tall buildings, flak exploding on all sides. 3 key targets are located here, and once you've taken them out, your mission is complete. All that's left is to land at the final strip and hear Rule Britannia as your victory march. Well done, Max Chatworth. When Blue Max launched, the Commodore 64 was still a fresh face on the scene, and the game's graphics hold up impressively for such an early title. Set pieces are clear and distinct, landscapes bright and scrolling smoothly across the screen, and honestly, who doesn't love Blue Max's shadow as he soars over the countryside? But the real star here is the sound design. The effects feel remarkably realistic, with explosions that rank among the best in C64 history. And then there's the music. The orchestration of Rural Britannia that plays during the title screen and victory fanfare is simply gorgeous, showcasing the full power of the 64's iconic SID chip. The Commodore 64 Appreciation Society absolutely adores Blue Max. It's fun, challenging, and the perfect game to grab when you want a quick hit of shoot-'em-up action. And we're not alone. Compute Magazine said that it may well be the best action game there is, and your Commodore gave it a perfect 5 out of 5, praising its addictiveness. That high praise has stood the test of time. In 1996, Computer Gaming World ranked it as the 142nd best game of all time, and today it holds a strong 8.23 rating on Lemon 64. But beyond the numbers and ratings, no one can deny that Blue Max is a true classic. It holds a treasured spot amongst 64 fans, and it helped set the standard for many of the great games that followed. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider leaving a like or subscribing. And if you have any memories of Blue Max, I'd love to hear about them in the comments. Hope to see you again.